But Walker Bush always seemed destined for great things. At 18, he was the US Navy's youngest ever aviator. 2 years later, he was a war hero. Flying over the Pacific in 1944, his plane was hit by enemy fire, but he remained in the burning aircraft to complete his bombing mission before parachuting out. After a glittering college career, he set up his own oil company before eventually turning to politics. Senior roles included serving as ambassador to the UN, envoy to China, and he was director of the CIA. He lost out on the 1980 Republican presidential nomination to Ronald Reagan, but was a loyal vice president to the victorious candidate. In 1988, he tried again, and this time was successful. His campaign became defined by a single soundbite.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
He was inaugurated in January 1989, just as the Berlin Wall was about to fall and the Soviet Union collapsed.
George Herbert Walker Bush, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
He was seen as a competent president, but not an inspirational one. Even he acknowledged he lacked a grand vision. And the man who'd promised not to raise taxes responded to an economic crisis early in his presidency by raising taxes. But he did have an impact on the world stage. He negotiated nuclear arms reduction with the Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. In 1989, he sent 24,000 US troops into Panama to restore democracy following the military coup carried out by General Noriega. But his biggest decision was to take America to war against Saddam Hussein's Iraq after the dictator invaded Kuwait.
Just 2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets in Iraq and Kuwait. These attacks continue as I speak.
The Gulf War was viewed as a military and diplomatic success for George Bush, but his decision to order the end of the US operation without removing Saddam from power left unfinished business. It was left to the 43rd President of the United States, Bush's son George W., to complete that mission with a second Gulf War. Bush's failure to revive a faltering economy saw him lose the 1992 election to Bill Clinton. In retirement, he remained active, working on causes that mattered to him. In 2005, he joined forces with a former political adversary, Bill Clinton, to appeal on behalf of people affected by Hurricane Katrina. Remarkably, he celebrated both his 85th and 90th birthdays skydiving, despite no longer having use of his legs because of Parkinson's disease. More than 7 decades after jumping out of that burning plane over the Pacific, he'd come full circle.